Hey, how's it going? My name is David Nurse. I'm an author, speaker, NBA life optimization coach. And today on the Ever Forward Radio, we talk a ton of trash. No, we talk a lot about breakthrough, how to find your breakthrough, the breakthrough formula, and the amazing podcast host that Chase is. He dives in deep and brings things out of me that I didn't even know I had inside. Yeah, if that's not a teaser, I don't know what is. Listen to it.
3, 2, 1.
You ready, brother?
I'm ready.
Well, dude, here we are.
Bring it to me.
Like 2 years later, over 2 years. Yeah. Back on the airwaves. Welcome, man.
It's incredible, isn't it? Like where we were last time we had a conversation. If we could have predicted this coming, me and you would both be billionaires sitting on an island, our own island, recording a podcast because we love it so much. We'd be doing it.
Island boys. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But,
Please do.
Well, I mean, you've had to hell of a couple of years. And that's what we're here to talk about. Your latest breakthrough, the new book, and all the goodies that come with it, man. So first things first, why this book? Why now? Why this concept?
You know what? So after I wrote the first book, Pivot and Go, I mean, it's for people being stuck in a situation and getting out of it, but then where do you go? And I was thinking about this as my background is in working with NBA players, NBA coaches, high performers, and being around all these people that have been blessed in these relationships to see like what makes them who they are, what makes them so great. Is there certain habits that they do? Is there a rhythm that they follow? Are there just like the traits all line up? And so I kind of went on a little journey of just researching and putting together, like if you could put the ideal formula together to create a breakthrough from these high performers, like what would that be? Because breakthroughs are, when you say the word breakthrough, it's really like, all right, sounds cool. It's a happy little accident. It's a stroke of luck. But how do you really replicate it, right? You can't just say, hey, it's an abstract term. You don't really know how to do it, but it sounds cool. Like, Chase, you're going to have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
Sweet. What's that mean? How do I do it? So
what?
Yeah. So I took all these things in what I've seen in the high performance, put them together in a formula, in a power-packed formula, tried and tested, that will help you create your breakthrough.
Yeah.
And who doesn't need a breakthrough?
Hell, I could take one.
Yeah.
But you got my curiosity piqued around actually being able to formulate one.
Yeah.
Instead of just what I think most people would describe as a breakthrough, when opportunity meets hard work or good timing or luck or whatever.
Yep.
Or just the right circumstances and all of a sudden you have an epiphany and this thing comes to you. But you're saying you got the way to predict, to create, to build, to
schedule, plan. Yeah.
All right, well, spill the beans, man.
You like that for a teaser for everybody listening? It's coming. It's coming. Hold on. So the formula is this. The formula is a 4-part series, and it's not something that's like, hey, your morning routine has to last till 2 p.m. and you have to chug apple cider vinegar on the hour every hour. No, it's really seamless. You add it into your day. It's confidence plus cooperation plus service plus purpose. Those 4 right there. Now, when I know you're hearing this, you're thinking like, oh, yeah, I know what confidence is and service, all that. No, it's something completely different than that. So we can break down each step. We can go step by step.
Yeah,
we can go all of them. Okay, we'll walk through it. So the first one being confidence. When you think about confidence, people think about resumes, results, stats, if you're a basketball player. And that's great and all. Like that will be a tip of the iceberg to what confidence can be. But true confidence is about knowing who you are at the core. Your true self-awareness, understanding who you are if everything gets stripped away. So knowing that, like, hey, if you hit New York Times or if you get millions and millions of downloads, like that's great and all, but who are you before that? And one of the greatest examples I saw in that, I'm going to give an NBA story, Jeremy Lin. So I know you're an avid NBA sports fan.
Hardcore. They weren't they in the Super Bowl last year?
They were in the Super Bowl. As the person. So we went through this time in 2012, 2013 called Lin's Sanity. So basically it came out.
I remember that. Yeah.
Wow.
It's hard to miss Lin. I mean,
yeah
he was.
That's how big a deal you guys know this is. If this sports buff over here.
I mean, it takes someone, like, what is he, like 8 feet tall? I mean, it takes somebody like that for me to finally pay attention, I guess.
Might be 6 feet tall, but hey, anyways, he had a great breakthrough. So he was about to get cut. He was 3 days away from getting cut. He's living on his friend's couch and he gets his opportunity with the Knicks. and he just goes off. Like this guy out of complete obscurity. He's going for 30 points a game. He's going for game winners. He's juking, jiving Kobe. He's like at the top of the top, the basketball pinnacle. He's the #1 trending thing on Twitter. He's on Time Magazine. He's like literally at the peak of peaks as you can be at. Like think about that in your own life. If I woke up tomorrow and I've got 19 million followers and everybody's talking about me, it feels pretty good, right? But if he was being honest with you, he'd say he would never want to go through that situation again, because instead of living in the appreciation for who he was and what was going on, he was living in the what ifs. What if I can't keep this up? What if I don't keep this pace going? What will people think of me? Just like we all think about, like we hit something like, oh, I got to keep hitting these more sales numbers. I got to get more downloads. I got to get more likes. Like we live in this, but instead of having the understanding of, okay, this is who I stand for. This is what I am. Take all this away. And one of the greatest accomplishments I've seen in his career is seeing him come into his own and understanding, like, before basketball, before what anything a business card or status says he stands for his Taiwanese people, stands for his faith in Jesus, and he thinks he's a great gourmet chef in the kitchen, highly debatable, but he still stands for it. Point being, you figure out who you are at the core before you can build anything else. Like Simon Sinek likes to say, start with why. I disagree. You have to start with who. If you don't know who you are, there's no getting to the why. So you figure out your core, who you are. Like even think about it in LA. When was the last time that you met somebody and you said, hey, what do you do? Every time, right? But when was the last time that you met somebody like, hey, Chase, who are you? Never, ever, because it's all about the surface. So this is confidence about figuring out your true self-awareness.
I'm with you. And, I would like to, it's funny you mentioned that. I would like to bring something up that is like a new internal goal of mine, or just something that I'm hopeful for in LA, but like the world, those types of conversations, those types of, what did I say the other day? I think on Twitter or something, I said, let's normalize meaningful small talk. Here's exactly what happened. I remember now.
That's good.
Full story I was telling you earlier. I was actually on my way to a therapy session, and the Uber driver who picked me up was an older gentleman, older white guy, retired, and just like Uber conversations do, we began small talk. Yeah. And somehow it came up, well, because I'm an open book. I was like, yeah, I'm actually going to this therapy session. And he then shared with me that he's a recovering alcoholic. And so we shifted pretty quickly from, wow, this traffic sucks, the weather, whatever, to, hey, here's my trauma. Here's the thing, like this emotional thing I'm working through. Like I'm going to work through PTSD. This is my third follow-up session of this psychedelic therapy. And he immediately started telling me his story of like, yeah, I'm a recovering alcoholic. It did this to my marriage, and I'm in recovery now, but all these things are great. Like that's what I'm after. And so I would love, like what you just said, so beautiful to kind of piggyback on. Let's normalize meaningful small talk.
But that's perfect, because that's what true confidence is about. When you can share who you are, when you don't have to put up a front.
So true. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
But everybody is. Like,
I was a confident passenger, man.
Exactly. But what are we hiding? Like when you did that, when you opened up, and if people want to call it vulnerability, whatever, like that allows somebody else to open up. True actual confidence is being so comfortable in your own skin that you make other people comfortable in their skin. And it's like why is even the point of having surface level conversations? It gets absolutely nowhere. And you probably changed that guy's life. Like literally, he's like, dude, I needed to tell somebody that.
Perhaps, actually, I was telling him more about my personal experience with this type of therapy. And like at a stoplight, he wrote a note. So who knows? Like,
right. He might have went and checked that out.
Yeah.
Totally. But it would have never happened if you just asked him, hey, is LA going to be 73 and sunny again tomorrow? Oh,
is it going to be perfect again?
Every day.
Is the traffic going to be shitty? That's so powerful, and that's so true. Like that, I love that definition of confidence. Confidence is being so sure of yourself, or so sure of the path you are on, that allows somebody else to do the same thing.
Yeah, and it's not even about power. Like it's not even about power. The greatest power are the people that step in a room and they're so open and vulnerable. Like the best speakers I've been around, like they'll share their hardships. Everybody's gone through something. Some people more than others. But if you're just going to get up there and preach at people and say, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and I'll run through a wall and I'm going to get a lot of confidence. Like, no, be real.
Yeah. So that's one, confidence.
Yes.
What's step two?
Cooperation. So once you know yourself, you got to figure out who you're doing it with. You can't get anywhere alone. We all know that. And it's surrounding with people with differences, what I call misfits. Because we're all given a strength. God God-given strength. And yet far too often we're told, hey, that's your weakness. You got to improve your weakness. We're defined by our weaknesses, but weaknesses are just another term for a compliments wish list, meaning I want to surround myself with people who are different than me because I don't know these certain areas well. And you're going to make this ultimate team. Coming back to the NBA, you've heard of Michael Jordan. I know you've heard of Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah. He was on the Eagles, right?
Eagles. Yeah.
I
He had a lot of home runs. Actually, he did play baseball. But
True,
anyways, the 98 Bulls is the best example of this. They got Jordan, who's the best scorer. Pippen is the best sidekick. Steve Kerr is the best shooter. Dennis Rodman's the best crazy man who's going to show up with a different colored hair every night. You don't know if he's going to get kicked out of the game or not. Like wild card type of guy. But these misfits come together and make this ultimate team. Another example I love to give. So this one you'll resonate with more. So this is a food example. So New York City, it's a place called Cat's Deli. Phenomenal. If you haven't been there, put it on your bucket list. Get there.
Wait, they're the sandwiches that come literally like this hot. Oh, yeah. I got it last time.
See? Yep.
Absurd amount of meat. Amazing.
Absurd. Yeah. There's this Reuben sandwich there. So good. Amazing. But the ingredients break them down. Rye bread. It's disgusting. I hate rye bread. Pastrami. Gross. Swiss cheese. Smells bad. Sauerkraut. Yeah.
Thousand Island dressing.
No one's going like, dude, get me some sauerkraut. Like no one's saying that unless, I don't know, unless you're at Air One and you're a goofball. But no, like all those ingredients you don't want.
I'm on gut health.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was going for. No, all those ingredients by themselves are not any good, but you put them together, they have this ultimate taste bud heaven. It's misfits. So figuring out those people around you in your life that you surround yourself. You don't want to be around just yes men. Like you don't want to be the person on American Idol who surrounds himself with people that tell him so good when they actually suck. Like surround yourself with people, the best leaders, the best people you can be around are people that will support you. Yes, everybody talks about their support group, but will also challenge you. Like I don't want to be around people who just can be like, man, David, that's a good book. Like, hey, keep doing what you're doing. No, I want to improve. I want to be around people like, you know what? Like you can get better in this situation. Or, hey, like when you were talking about offline, we're talking about doing TV shows. And I'm like, dude, do it. Go do it. Like
that push.
You need that push. You need to put people that are going to challenge you. And you know that I'm going to check in on you. Be like, hey, dude, how's the show? Like I need to do a better job of us hanging out in person when we do the next podcast.
Likewise.
But I'm going to challenge you. And those are the type of people that you grow. Like, I know we have to deal with people that are negative energy, vampire suckers we have to deal with. You can deal with them, or even people in your family too. Like man, I'm from my childhood, I gotta be, sure, deal with them, but you don't have to give them your time and energy. You can basically put them on the bench.
Can you go a little bit deeper there, please?
Yeah,
sorry to cut you off, but like that.
Oh, no.
I get questions around that all the time. And I think that's a very necessary component because that is where a lot of people on their journey for personal development, for their own breakthrough, that I think is one of the biggest roadblocks or even excuses. It's like my family this, my partner that.
Ooh, I'm so glad you asked that because it's such a big point. Like we all have, like we're all born with family. We don't choose family. So in that saying, yes, love your family, but you don't have to spend a ton of time with people that like that are jealous of you and your family, that see you as little Chase or little David and don't want you to succeed, or people from small town Iowa where I grew up where they're still doing the same thing. And you know how many times I've gotten like, hey, when are you going to get a real job? When are you gonna get no, like I don't want to be you. I'm going to do something different and I'm not going to let you hold me back. Even from people from high school, they'll do the same thing. Hey, you don't have to, like you can still love them, respect them, but you do not have to give them your time. And you do not have to listen to what they say. Like it's an example that I like to give is wisdom comes from the wise. I'm not seeking out, love my mom and dad, love them, amazing people, but I'm not asking my mom for business advice. It's just not what I'm doing. But yet so many people go to the same person for, oh, I need to lean on advice and that. No, seek the people who have done it at the highest level and look to them for wisdom, not just everybody and anybody giving you opinions.
Because everybody's got them, right?
Everybody's got them. Easiest thing to give.
So what about number 3?
Yes. So we have confidence is the who, cooperation is the where. So I didn't say that. Cooperation is the where. And then the third part is the what. That is service. So if you know who you are and you know the people around you, now the question becomes, what the heck are you doing? And if you're only doing what you're doing for yourself, for Insta fame, for likes, for a monetary value in your bank account, you'll be miserable. Nobody in the history of ever has woken up on their deathbed and like, you know what, man, got this big fat bank account, did absolutely nothing for anybody, but I had a great life. It just doesn't happen.
At least you don't hear about it. I think I saw that Disney movie maybe. I don't know. Like a Scrooge spinoff.
Right. But even he comes back to it.
Even he comes around, yeah.
So we know all these people that are millionaires and billionaires, and some of them are the most miserable people because they're only doing it for self. And I know that sounds kind of easy to say, but it's a lot harder to do. So service is not necessarily the hey, go serve at a local food bank. Like that's great. Keep doing that. But true, genuine service is about giving your time and your energy when it's not convenient for you. When it doesn't coordinate with your Google Calendar, color coordinated, when it's not, I got a Zoom here, a podcast here, a meeting here, and somebody needs you. Like, especially in this day and age, like if I'd have known this years ago, I had a friend who was reaching out, like struggling, like really struggling, but I didn't really know it. And I wouldn't give him, I give him time, but I didn't really pour into him. And if I'd have known that back then, like how bad he needed me, like he would have still been here. We all have those type of things.
Yeah.
And it's so real. We don't know what people are going through. And to just be so tied up in our own time is completely selfish. Now, I'm not very good at this. I'll be honest with you. Like if I got something on my schedule, I'm trying to hit the schedule.
Of course, yeah.
And there'll be times like even with Taylor, we're at home and she'll come up, just want to give me a hug and spend some time in the afternoon. I'm like, hold on. Like, I got to get
I don't
this
have
email.
scheduled hug time yet. That's in 45 minutes.
That's
baby.
at night, right? Yeah. Like I got this email I got to get out to. But what I realize is like, I'm doing all this so that I can have time for her, but why wouldn't I just give time for her when it's there? So giving your time and your energy when it's not convenient for you. And I can tell you a story too of like how I saw this really have a breakthrough in the professional realm as well. So when I was coaching with the Nets, we were playing down in Dallas. And I love being the first person on the floor. It's kind of my time to myself, my ambiance, like the whole arena, just me. There was another guy on the other side of the court shooting hoops. And he wasn't very good. He's missing a lot of shots, this older guy. And I walked by him to get to my side, and he turns and says, the older you get, the legs go, like blaming it on his legs. So as a shooting guru, as I know you are, it's not all about the legs. It's about how you...
It's on the wrist, right? It's flick of the wrist. Is that what the kids say?
We'll come back to that.
Okay,
Yeah. The kids do say that. But it's about how you generate the power, the momentum to get there. So I don't want to give this random stranger a 15, 20-minute lesson. And I want time to myself. But a friend had challenged me 3 weeks prior to live in the service mode. So I've been given this gift to help people shoot a basketball. So I was going to teach this guy. So I'll show him a few things, and he's getting more range on a shot. He's making more shots. He's excited. He's into it. Now the real players have to come out and start warming up for the game. So we have to get off. I say, hey, look, if you want more drills, more than happy to give them to you. I'll email it to you, all this. He's like, yeah, please. Grabs in his pocket, hands his business card. I put it in my pocket. I'm on my way to get 5 minutes before the game. So I'm sitting there right before tip-off, and I'm curious, okay, like, who was this dude? Who's this guy I'm giving lessons to? And I pull out this business card out of my pocket, and it reads Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks.
What?
Yeah. So this was years ago, right when Shark Tank was coming out. And I didn't know this guy. Like,
oh, shit.
I don't really know like celebrity faces if I see them in person. So he wasn't the big, sure, he was big, but he wasn't the big person he was. So he loves basketball. I was just helping Mark Cuban harness his inner power for something he was passionate about.
Damn.
Dude loves shooting, loves basketball. So I email him the next day, and literally within 2 minutes, he emails me back. So now he's in my contacts as like somebody I can look to for business advice.
Wow.
So this breakthrough, point being of the story, the breakthrough would have never happened. He would have never been somebody in my relationship network if I hadn't taken the time out of my schedule to go help him with something. And like, it's not all going to be Mark Cuban's, obviously. But if you treat everybody like that situation, sure, some people will be like that. But even more so, you can empower these people to do great things. Like even, I give the example of Florence Nightingale, the lady who started all the nursing systems, everything. She had, can't even remember her name, but she had this lady who literally poured her whole life into helping Florence. Like she had a tough upbringing, all this, poured her whole life into it. And Florence goes on to change the world in that. Like if this lady wasn't there serving, probably going out of her way to serve Florence, none of that happens. It's crazy.
I think about this stuff all the time. And because it's real for me because I've been on the receiving end so many times of generosity, of people saying yes when I thought for sure would have been no, for just things that don't make sense. And that's been, honestly, that was a big mindset shift for me. That was a breakthrough for me, quite literally, after moving to LA. it was a breakthrough for me in that it changed my outlook on the day and it changed my entire experience because honestly, for the first like year, I was struggling. I was
Mhm.
struggling with just the day-to-day interactions. I was struggling with finding community. I was finding just a lot of difficulties in my just normal day-to-day stuff. But the breakthrough came for me when I made even more of a conscious effort to, I was like, you know what? Every person I encounter, the person making my coffee, the booking agent on the phone, the person I'm scheduling for the podcast, like every person I want to build as equally as
Yeah.
strong and big and meaningful as a bridge as possible. And that changed the game for me. That changed the game for me in terms of just like honor, really, that's service at its core. I'm honoring
Totally.
every human being equally, which I think is
Totally.
not a bad thing. And that empowered them, the whole aspect of confidence we're talking about. And just every part of that experience from that moment on and later was so much more energetic. It was so much more love centered. And then you never know, seriously, especially in LA, you never know.
You never know.
You're nice to one person. It could be just this one off. You hold the door for somebody at a coffee shop and they
Mhm.
remember you, you know, they're, I don't know, the manager at the restaurant you're going and they send you and your partner a glass of champagne or something. I've had so much wild shit like that happen off of
happens.
seemingly meaningless little encounters.
But you put yourself in the situation for it to happen.
It's a choice. Yeah,
It's
it's
an-
been a choice.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
man. Like that's incredible. Like there's some of the best relationships I've had is just by a happen chance of like reaching out and pouring into somebody. And it always comes back in the end.
Mm-hmm,
Like people don't want to hear because they want things to happen fast. But if you literally pour into other people and you serve other people, just the way the world works, I believe God is blessing that. Like it comes back. And another bonus point is when you step into a room, and the action that I use for this is looking at your hands and saying the word serve. So when you open a door, say the word serve. So subconsciously you're thinking, okay, now I'm going to serve everybody in this room. But when you do that, it takes a lot of pressure off yourself.
mm-hmm.
You don't have to step in the room and be like, man, who do I got to connect with? Who do I got to meet? It just flows naturally. And those people like that, like just coming from a meeting with one of my NBA players, is like everybody looks at him as like a god. But if you treat them like a normal person, that's what they want.
Mm.
And if you treat people who might be lower as a normal person with respect, that's what they want. Everybody just wants to be treated as a person, appreciated, and loved.
It kind of sounds on the front end, it still kind of sounds a little selfish, right? You know, when we think about, we want this, we want to give unto others because ultimately we want the same for us. And we're hoping for good juju, good experiences, the karma, the whatever to come back to us. So, I mean, I guess technically at its core, we're doing it because it's what we want for ourselves. But, you know, the means to that end, I'm more in sync with basically.
Totally. And it can be selfish, but it's also like, sure, you're doing it to make yourself feel good too, but that's okay. Like if you're doing it to make yourself feel good, you're still making other people feel good. As long as you're not doing this and then you're like, okay, I'm keeping score. Like, Chase, dude, I gave you 3 Zevia sodas the other day. Where's mine? Like, as long as you're not keeping score, it's cool.
Let me actually pick your brain on that real quick, because to a degree, I believe in, I won't say keeping score, but having enough sense of awareness of the relationships you have in your life where you are pouring, and maybe not getting anything close or anything in return. Not so much keeping a score, but
I get it.
Understanding boundaries, really. So how do you navigate that? How do you give without keeping score, but still be mindful of your energy and your worth at the same time?
Right. If you're, okay, so great question. So if you're giving to somebody and you're not getting any type of appreciation or emotional love back, it'd be like me, like if I was pouring into my wife and just continuing to give and shower her with all this great stuff and care, and then she didn't give anything back to me, it'd be an empty road. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't be fulfilled back. So there has to be some type of fulfillment back. And I'm not saying it has to be like a monetary thing or an opportunity thing, but it can even just be an appreciation thing. Like if you're giving to somebody and you're pouring into somebody and they just keep taking and using, and there's going to be people like that. That's when you make the decision, you know, like, sure, I'll put them on the bench, just like the friends and family. Like they can still be in your life, but don't keep trying to keep trying to give and give and give to impress or to win their acceptance, because it's not going to happen. Like you can't, Yeah, you can't fundamentally change somebody in the way they are. I feel like God coming into their life is the way that fundamentally changes someone. But if somebody's going to be a taker and a taker, like as much as you want to try to change somebody, you can't.
Usually not. One other book that's helped me, besides Breakthrough, of course, in this matter is, oddly enough, The 5 Love Languages.
That's one of the best books ever.
Even just not even in an intimate relationship, but just that helped me do everything you just said. To help me understand like why I was feeling some kind of way about a work relationship, a family member, an intimate relationship, X, whatever. It's just, you got to understand how people receive love so that you know how to better, communicate and give.
So good, man. Everybody listening, even before you pick up Breakthrough, go get the 5 love languages, like for any business, anything. So my love language is words of affirmation. So if you just tell me great things about myself, I'm going to love you.
You look great.
I love you, Chase. But Taylor, my wife's, hers is, I joke about this, is like all 5 of them were even. So I got to pour into them every single day.
What a busy husband you must be.
I know. Pat
affection, gifts, quality time.
And I do it all every day with a smile on my face. No, she's amazing. She's phenomenal.
I can attest to that.
Thanks.
All right. So walking through, we're in step 4 now.
Oh yeah. We're on purpose now. So now we get to the why.
Back to track here.
Great job. Great. That's what great podcast hosts do. So we have the confidence, who, we have the cooperation, where, we have the service is the what. Now it's the why. This is the purpose. So understand that purpose is not necessarily about what you do, but it's about who you do it for. So
I like that.
Say that you're doing a job that you don't necessarily like. It doesn't mean you're going to be stuck there forever, but who are you doing it for? Like if you're waking up at 5 a.m. and you got a night shift too, like are you going into and you got 2 kids? You're like, man, this sucks. Like what are your kids going to see? But if you're doing it for your kids and you go in there with the best mindset and you're attacking the job and you're just working your butt off, that's what they're going to see. So think about who you're doing it for. Now, purpose at its most beautiful essence is I think we all have a gift given to us, and using that gift, whatever that is. It can be the quirkiest little thing. It can be I love it, man, when you go down to the coffee shop and the barista behind it is like, this bean was roasted at 37 degrees Fahrenheit in Nicaragua.
It when everybody loves what they do.
That's it.
I love it when people love what they do. That's my favorite thing ever.
That's what purpose is.
Yeah.
And that's I have a story chapter in the book about Jiro, the sushi guy. Jiro dreams of sushi. I went searching for him in Japan, and the coolest, this dude is at the top of the top. But every day he's going to the same fish market and he's getting this, he's going searching for the best fish there is. He's so obsessed with finding the best fish to serve at sushi that night. Because when you are obsessed with your passion, it brings other people joy. Obsessed is a great term. People shy away from it. Like, no, David, balance. I need that 80-20. No. That's just society's way of keeping you busy with things that doesn't matter. I don't want to be 80-20 loving my wife. I don't want to be 80-20 in the relationships or the mission that I'm on. No chance. But I don't need to fill it with yoga. I don't need to feel obsessed is picking what your essential things that you want to pour into are. So if you have this gift, let's say, I'll give you another example. Let's say you love playing the piano. It's that's your thing. You love the piano. I can tell. I know. And I get you this grand
I took
piano.
keyboard for a year.
Right. I mean, you gave up.
I did.
Yeah. Okay. That's a whole nother story.
That's in the next job.
So I give you this grand piano, this beautiful piano, and you put it in the corner and put a tarp over it. That's a slap in my face. You have this great gift, but yet you don't do it. And it's what most of us do. We have this gift, we have this dream, we have this passion, but yet we shut it off because little Johnny down the street said, you're not good at it. Or a guidance counselor said you can't do it. Or a parent said you can't do it. Who are they to tell you? They're not living your life. And the funny thing, someone will tell you something for 10 seconds, and then we spend the rest of the day thinking about it. It is your passion and your mission, and it doesn't matter if it makes a ton of money, but you will make money. The money will come if you follow it. That you have passion plus purpose, who you're doing it for, equals you're on a mission. Whenever you hit that mission sweet spot, that's when the money will come. Even if you're a guy in Northern Scotland just doing the best cashmere sweaters. And there's actually a guy over there. That's a true story. He's just chilling in Northern Scotland. He's wooling together the best cashmere, and he is the cashmere guy.
Damn. Cashmere King, huh?
Yeah. So I can tell you about a show I'm going to do kind of based off this. But
I don't even do math good, but I know that formula adds up.
It works. You don't do math good or English
speak
well.
or English well, either. But this is probably like, I vibe with you so much because not only what you're doing, it's clear that you're obsessed with it, you're passionate about it, and it brings like that energy quite literally comes to the table. It is in your work. But why I love connecting with people like you and just this process of human optimization, because it also serves, when you learn something new, that's cool, that's great. But like, it also serves as great reminders for things that like I have chosen to adopt in my life that, you know, I think everybody would agree that we do things because we want to do them, but it doesn't hurt when we get some kind of mirroring back, some kind of validation.
Sure.
And
sure.
that rings so true for me. I firmly believe and have believed more over the years that leaning into my extraordinary, or excuse me, leaning into my ordinary, because it is somebody else's extraordinary. My natural gifts, whatever I'm naturally, you know, passionate about, whatever I'm more willing and easily to lean into. That's because that's my ordinary. That's who I am. So I should like honor that, right? And in pursuit of that, it's the most natural thing in the world. But also, not everybody has the same skill as me, and vice versa. And that builds all the things we're talking about here: the confidence, the community, the breakthrough. But like, talk about a world I would love to live in. You walk in and everybody is just leaning into their passion, and they're serving everybody at the same time. It's just this constant reciprocal energy.
Bro, that's what it would be if we didn't like judge people or care what other people thought. Like, that's what it absolutely would be. We'd be in that type of rhythm. That'd be beautiful. Like and when we say like skills can be developed too, like you can develop your skill in something, but if you have a gift, like that's what we're all searching for, right? Doesn't anyone else searching for like, why was I put on this earth? What was I meant to do? And it's right there.
So how do we find it? How do you help people find their gift? Like, what do you recommend?
Deep down inside you, and it's sitting right there. No, it's this. It's figuring out like, well, first off, I ask people, when you wake up in the morning, what juices you up? What are you super excited about? Because early in the morning is like, that's when your best clarity is going to come. And if you have something that you're super excited about that you wake up morning after morning after morning, that's probably what you should be pursuing. You should be going towards that. Now, it all has to be for purpose. Like I said, what are you doing this for? What is the end result? Like, are you doing this to your kids or your legacy of your family and everything? And now you're not going to hit it right off the bat. You might, but it's okay if you don't. Like for me, I thought it was NBA coaching. And I went after it, man. I spent 5 years living out of my car, sleeping on friends' couches who didn't even know I was their friend. Like literally.
Didn't even know I was in the house.
Right. I've got some crazy stories about places that I've slept.
Didn't even know he was a friend.
Anyways, so like I thought it was NBA coaching. I poured everything I had into that. So this is a great example of when you think your breakthrough comes and then it gets taken away from you. It might not be your actual breakthrough. So I was coached finally 5 years in. The Brooklyn Nets asked me to be their shooting coach. Like, boom. Made it. 28 years old, hot, up and coming young coach. We were just killing it. Like GM offers me a 3-year deal. I'm getting all this pub as this young coach. And then a new head coach comes in and I'm fired. So 5 years, 6 years of pouring everything into this. I thought I finally had my breakthrough and I was hitting success. And then all of it was taken away from me.
What was the time frame of that, from when you had that opportunity to when it was taken away?
So when I started with the Nets, 7 months.
So 7 months to step into what you felt was your calling, your dream, the big payoff. Damn.
So it took me 6 years to get there. So I thought it was playing basketball. I realized my athleticism and height didn't really help that much. So then it was coaching. I did everything to get into coaching and it finally break through. And then right away, it's taken away from me. But that wasn't my true breakthrough. That wasn't what I was meant to do. That's led me to be able to speak, to write, to encourage, to help people figure out what's inside them and bring it. Like, I love that much more than I do doing X's and O's or teaching somebody how to shoot a jumper. But if I would have stayed in that situation, none of that would have happened. So if you think you hit your breakthrough, if you've been like, okay, every day, David, I woke up and I was so excited about this, but then it got taken away from me. Well, maybe those skills that you developed in that is actually leading you to something else. So I think, some people get in their wheelhouse and it's like, dude, I'm going to play the violin for 24 hours straight. And like, that's my jam. I'm going to do that all the time. Other people have to figure it out, find it, get hit, get knocked down. And I heard this great stat not too long ago. It was 80% of people that say their biggest setback. So think about your biggest setback.
Okay.
80% of people tie their biggest setback to their biggest breakthrough, their greatest success. That's a crazy number.
That's why I'm here.
And me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's true. So when you have these things that are just like massive, massive setbacks, just be ready because it's going to lead you to what your actual breakthrough is going to happen. But the people who don't get there, just give up. They think like, oh, it's over. And I think the number one skill that somebody can have in life is literally don't give upness. Like if you just keep going.
Yeah, but I was going to actually, it's perfect kind of segue. I was going to ask you, is there a time and a place? Do you have to be realistic? Like, is it, you wake up every day and you pursue this passion and like relentlessly until the day you die. And if nothing ever happens, then that's okay. Like, how do you know when to throw in the towel?
Right. There's no exact formula to like, okay, you did this for 2 years. Now it's time to make that move. But that's what the pivoting is all about. Like, I believe our life, we're going down this hallway. So imagine yourself walking down this long hallway and there's doors, there's rooms that you're going to enter. And you're going to go to in one room and think that's the right one. But now you're just learning something from that. Now it leads you down to another step in the hallway. Oh, you go into another room and down another. So we're always continuing to go forward. And it's just like,
we got pit stops.
We got different things that are going to happen. We got like, who knows? 10 years from now, I might be doing something completely different. I might be a lifeguard in Hawaii. Maybe that was my true calling. I don't know.
This could be a room for you right now. It could just be a long room.
Exactly. Yeah. So keep going. You're going to learn. And there will come a time. I think people have the general like inclination to like, okay, well, I really wasn't meant to be an NBA player because I'm 5'2" and can't jump more than 1 inch.
Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah. See, there's always an outlier, but that guy could have been like, well, I actually am really, really smart at analytics and I came from MIT. So maybe I could get a job in the NBA in that sense. Use the skills you develop in whatever direction you're going to be able to continue to lead and build you to the next direction. But the worst thing you can do is not go anywhere.
While writing this new book, I'm curious, did you have any new breakthroughs? I always love to hear when people, especially in a book situation, you write about something because you're passionate about it, you're researching something, and typically I think that stirs up something, or you get like a big validation. Was a breakthrough of yours validated in this work, or did you have a new one?
That's an amazing question. I think the breakthrough that I got through writing this book was actually that writing books are not as daunting tasks as people think they are. Like the formula I was pretty like stuck with, and it didn't really change from knowing the stories that I had. But in writing this book, it took me about 3 weeks to actually write it. Now editing is a whole nother process of it. But after writing the first book, it was kind of like, man, this is saying he's like, can I actually do another one? I got this great opportunity to do it, but I don't think it's that hard. I really like, and that's because I didn't have that mental block on that most people think, or that I thought on the first one was like, dude, writing a book is such a daunting task. I actually don't think it is. I'm going to write a book a year. Like, so we'll be on next time of this year talking about the next book. So everybody don't get sick of me.
And tune in, because I was telling you, I just started finally writing mine as well. And I would agree. It happened exactly when and where and how it needed to happen. Of course, I would have loved to have started, or actually followed through with my start 4 or 5 years ago, but it could not have been more perfect. And once I actually decided to sit down to do it, and was coming from a place like all the things we're talking about, community, service, passion. Yeah, man, in like 2 days, I got over 50 pages.
Totally. Right. But then there'll be some days where you get 5 words. And it's okay. You've started. And even look at that first start that you just did there too, which everything you're writing. Like I heard it said, like, look at it as a zero draft. Don't even worry. Don't even get so tied up about what the words are. Just get your story on paper. It will continue to like mold itself together. But it happened. You're in it. You're going. You're doing it.
It's going to the hole. That
is a term. Going to the rack. Going to the hole.
To the all the marbles.
That one, yeah. I don't know if I'm a big marble player, but yeah, I think it works.
If you could take this approach to mindset, to life, to business development, to anything and everything that people would want to break through for, and you could put it in their hands right here, right now, today, in 2022, the world, do you think people would know how to properly use it? Do you think like, hey, here's a formula to have a breakthrough in life? Do you think, are we in a place to where we would know how we would even deserve to actually create that?
Man, you are phenomenal asking questions. You've done this a time or two before.
You got me thinking today, man.
That's a
You got me
great
thinking.
question. I think that we are, but I also think that we're not too, because I don't think that we'll allow ourselves to do that. I think a lot of people will pick up this book, or a lot of people will have something that they know that they should stick with, know that will help them. But if they're not seeing the quick success, if they're not getting the validation, it's easy to give up on it. It's just like it's really funny. Like people try to lose weight or gain muscle, and it's just not going. Like they don't see the gain. Like then they give up. But like it's like if you're brushing your teeth, you're not going to give up. You're just going to keep doing it. It's not always fun to brush your teeth. I don't even like brushing my teeth. There's never really a time I'm like, dude, this feels so good. I'm ready to brush my teeth. But you know you got to do it because you know the benefits it's going to bring you.
Unless it's right before you go to the dentist,
which I'm going to tomorrow.
See, you're welcome.
Crazy.
Reminder.
Yes. But yeah, it's just like any type of habit that you know that's going to bring you great gains. And like, if you stick with it, most people are going to give up on it. Like just that alone, knowing that knowledge of if you just keep going in the habit. Now, be it that like it has to be these positive habits, not these negative self-debilitating habits. But if you keep going at them, most people will give up. And if you have that mentality, if you have that understanding, you're going to be successful because everybody else is going to give up. Like do the things that people don't like to do. Like embrace those type of things.
Yeah.
Embrace brushing your teeth. Next time you go to the mirror tonight, be like, I'm going to brush these dang teeth. So good.
And you know what? To pull a resource from a mutual homie, Mr. Jim Quick, in his book Limitless. Here's the example I want to give is just like the ability you can have to attach an outcome you want for your life in a seemingly mundane task or something you don't want to do. This was a breakthrough for me in a way I strive every day to optimize my life, in particular, like brain health. I, as much as I can remember, I'll grab my toothbrush and brush with my non-dominant hand.
Yep.
I'll, start everything with my left hand, my right hand, and just these little things, small, dumb tasks, but they are in pursuit of the life I want, in pursuit of the longevity. They're like, I'd make an argument that's a tiny little breakthrough.
That's definitely a breakthrough. Yeah, totally, man. I think anything Jim talks about is probably a breakthrough. That dude's a
Legendary.
genius.
Yeah. Well, breakthrough. Let me check this guy out.
Get it. Just looks beautiful.
Surefire guide to realizing your potential, pushing through limitations, and achieving things you didn't know were possible. I want to, like, last point here in our conversation, I want to drive that last point home, is because I think that is the ultimate payoff people don't know is waiting for them. You can have breakthroughs and achieve things that you set out to achieve, but bro, I know I know the amount of success and just other opportunities and goals you didn't even think were possible or that you could achieve come through the end of this process.
Man, absolutely. Like the things that have happened in our lives through just continuing to go, continuing to be driven, continuing to dream big, like they happen even better than we can imagine, on a timeline better than we can even imagine. So think about that too. Like what you're doing now, you're just planting a ton of seeds. Like you might be planting seeds for 5 years, but those seeds will sprout. Like you will, like you stick with this formula, you stick with this, literally knowing that you matter and you have a purpose and a reason to be here, keep planting those seeds, they'll sprout.
Well, I want to ask you again, man. It's been a wild last 2 years. The world, lives, everything has changed, and no doubt there are breakthroughs that you've had. But through the lens of moving ever forward, what does that mean to you now compared to 2 years ago? I got to go back and check. I'd love to hear your interpretation then.
Oh, I would love to hear that too. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous.
I have to have that pulled up next time.
I hope I don't say the same thing. I hope I've grown.
How does that fall on you today?
Man, you know what? Like the biggest thing that taken over the last 2 years is people either are in one of two camps. You either make excuses or you decide to make things happen. You can look at this whole time as, oh man, well, this was shut down, so I couldn't do this. Or the greatest excuse ever, like, and I know it obvious is real, I'm not even getting into that, is people saying, COVID. Well, the restaurant shut down at 3 because of COVID. Huh, interesting. Or, you know what, it can't make it, COVID. Like, no, if you want to be successful, you go out there and you make it happen. You don't use these type of excuses. In 2 years, I've written 2 books, and I've got a TV show in development. All kinds of speaking engagements have happened. But I could have looked at it as like, you know what? I'll just wait until this time passes and then we'll get at it. Your choice.
You took your own advice, at least from book 1, pivot and go, man. I mean, this was the ultimate pivot.
Totally.
Ultimate pivot the last 2 years.
I really want to hear what I said on that last one. It's on my mind.
Well, dude, David, it's always a pleasure, man. It's good to see you.
Brother.
Congrats on book number 2. We're going to have this down in the show notes for everybody. Check it out. We're going to link it in here. And when this comes out, when the episode comes out, it's going to be our choice for the book club.
Yes. I love when I get in those Instagram pictures of Chase's book club.
I'm always down for knowledge gains. I've actually been on a little roll recently. I've been like,
Really?
I got 2 books out front of the house. I got to keep 2 in my nightstand, which is actually going against the very core of the book I'm reading now. I reread The One Thing every January.
That's a great book.
And what do they say? Multitasking is a lie. I got book here, book there, but it fits my day. Fits my system.
I don't think multitasking is a lie. I would disagree with Jeff Woods in the for another podcast to come.
Dun dun dun. Well, all right, man. Well, I'll kill it there. Thank you so much.